This video is nothing like all those other desk videos. You've seen them. The ultimate desk setup, the perfect minimalist desk, dream work from home office, building my S tier work from home desk setup. But really, the perfect desk setup doesn't exist. There's always gonna be room for improvement to make things better, cleaner, more organized. What you prefer is different from what I prefer. There's always room for improvement. So today, we're upgrading my desk setup, not to be perfect, but to be just a little bit better. We're going to separate our goals into 3 categories. First, upgrading the desk itself. Second, improving the quality of Zoom calls. And third, creating a multi-purpose printer setup. Because after all, this isn't just a desk, it's an office. But the stakes are high. At the end of this video, we'll be doing the all-important Wobbly test. And that'll determine if the new desk is worth it and it's earned 5 stars in its review, or if we wasted all this time and money and it only gets 1. The desk. This is where the project really started and then spiraled into something bigger from there. My current desk, it's fine. It's not great. It's something cheap I picked up on Amazon a couple years ago just to get me started, and I've been rocking it since then. Some of the things I don't like are the front edge being so sharp right on your forearms, it really pokes into you. And then the desktop itself actually came in 2 pieces. There's a slit right down the middle, hot dog style, separating the 2 pieces, and they're screwed together. And most importantly, it's super wobbly. This will be important later on. Here's the official wobble test of the old desk. This is going to be our whole scale of whether we rate this project a success or a failure. So we're starting from the ground up and replacing it all together. Wow. Each of these boxes is 50 pounds a piece, so definitely lift with caution. And inside of them is the Flexispot E7 Plus standing desk. This is a 4-leg, 2-motor standing desk, so it's essentially got what was a full standing desk on each end of it. 2 motors powering 2 legs apiece to get you your 4 total legs. This should be a huge upgrade in terms of keeping everything rock solid. Now bumping up from 2 legs to 4 should drastically increase the stability of this new desk. Hopefully that'll pay off in the wobble test coming up at the end of the video. And the final note is this desk surface is thicker, which makes it feel a lot more solid. It's got a beveled edge at the front, so it'll be nice on the forearms that I was just talking about. And I think that will also help with stability. You'll also notice in this switch, I'm going from a light and bright surface color to black. Other than the mic arm, that is staying bright white and colorful because I think it looks cool. There's really no reason behind it other than I'm in my dark era, I want to switch up, so that's what I'm going with. Now, one of the main reasons I chose Flexispot, and this isn't sponsored, I just really like them as a company, but it's because of their online customer service that I decided to go with them. They have a customer service representative that responds on Reddit, so you can really just message them on Reddit and they'll be able to help you out. In fact, there was slight shipping damage to my desk surface. I was able to just send a picture of it and they were able to partially refund my order to make up for it. I just thought that was really cool how you can work with them directly on Reddit to get things done. Just a way easier way to communicate. Once we get the desk itself assembled, we'll move on to mounting the things on the bottom. This will include a cable management tray, a large power strip, a dock, and even a laptop holder. Now this specifically needed a little bit of measurement. It was intended to clamp to the side of the desk, but I didn't want to do that anymore. So I drilled some holes in it, ran some screws into the bottom surface of the desk, and now it's screwed on from the bottom. This allowed me to 3D print a little custom headphone holder and just mount it onto that screw clamp location that we didn't end up using. I also added a cable chain that'll keep everything very nicely organized running to the ground and just hide all those extra wires. I think it'll look really cool. In my previous setup, all of those things like the cable management trays were just clamped onto the desk surface. The laptop holder was clamped onto the edge. And so it'll be nice to clear up that space, not have all those additional clamps on the surface as well. Moving on to the Zoom setup, we're going to focus on 2 specific things, the light and the camera. Now you may be asking, what's the point of even going so hard on Zoom production value? Well, as a production company, I always tell myself that if I get on a Zoom call with a client and I don't have high production value, then what will that set as their expectations for the shoot? So I think if a client sees high production value on a Zoom call, they'll be able to envision how that carries over into the product, the shoot, and ultimately the result. Now maybe I just tell myself that to justify the equipment, the expenses, but I like gear, so I have fun with it. Starting with the light, the big softbox and the light stand looming over me at all times, that's just not it anymore. It's gotta go. I picked up a Quasar Science light tube on B&H a couple weeks ago. Specifically, it's the X25. I'm gonna be using that as my key light for the Zoom calls. It's basically gonna be like a monitor light bar, except super powered and blasting right in my face. The problem is I already have a monitor light bar. I've heard those are bad for screen contrast anyways, so I'm gonna take it off and move it to below my monitor with some custom 3D printed mounts. Now this monitor light bar won't ever hit the screen and it'll prevent any of those contrast issues. Similarly, for the new Quasar light at the top, it's getting 3D printed mounts. Now I wasn't sure exactly the angle, so these have a cool rosette pattern where I can slightly adjust the angle with 3D printed threads that lock everything down. I'm pretty proud of the design of these, if I do say so myself. Now there's no more light stand looming over me at all times, just this little Quasar tube with the press of a button on the Stream Deck and you're ready to go. Now it is pretty bright, kind of blasting right into my face, so I definitely only use that when I'm actively on a Zoom call, otherwise it stays off at all times. The other aspect of the Zoom quality that I'm tackling is the camera itself. And behind that Elgato prompter, I had a small point and shoot that I was just taking an HDMI signal from. There was an old A7S II that I had laying around that wasn't getting any use, so I put that thing to work. On top of it is a cheap Tamron 24mm lens that I also had laying around, put that thing to use, and finally I have a full frame camera capturing for my Zoom calls. And with the setup, I'm taking a clean HDMI feed out through a 4K capture card, and that's how I'm getting the signal into my laptop. Side note, this camera really did so much for my career at the beginning, really launched me into the video world, so pretty cool that it's coming full circle and has a place in my desk. And that is it for my full frame Zoom camera setup. At the end of this video, I'll show you the before and after, and that way we can compare how huge of a leap forward this new camera setup is. This part is gonna be pretty quick because it's pretty boring, because we're talking about printers. This printer used to sit directly on the ground, but it's time for an upgrade. Inside our cable chain earlier, we ran 3 cables. First 2 are to be expected, power and Ethernet. We also ran a USB-A cable, and this is gonna go to our printer setup. And this USB-A cable runs over to this IKEA end table unit. I specifically picked this one because it's the perfect size to put the printer on top. Now it can also run over Wi-Fi, so why the USB-A cable? Well, because it's not just the one 8.5x11 printer and scanner combo unit. I also have a shipping label printer as well as a regular label printer, and these don't run over Wi-Fi, so they have to be hardwired. And I don't use these nearly as much, but that's because I had to set them up every single time to use them. So now that they're set up, they're hardwired, they're ready to go at all times, I think I'll use them a lot more and they'll be a lot more convenient. Now I had to drill a hole in the back of this end table unit, that way I could run a power strip through as well as that data connection. From there, it's just plug everything into the 2 hubs. The power strip being the power hub that all 3 printers get plugged into, as well as the USB hub being the data hub that all 3 printers also get plugged into.
Wolf links up all your communication portals so you are always within reach. Part of the dog pack, as I call it.
And this unit even has a drawer that can be used for storing things such as extra paper, tools, hard drives, really anything you need, and even snacks if you want to go that route. That's the new printer table. Now this is a lot more than just a desk, it's an office, and it's ready to roll. Going over the whole setup from the bottom up, we have the Flexispot E7 Plus 4-leg, 2-motor desk. On top of those desk legs, we have a desktop from Flexispot. This is one of the gaming series with the chamfered front edge, and then mounted underneath it we have a couple of things. First, power strips and cable management trays. We have a couple Thunderbolt docks. These actually had to be daisy chained in order to get enough ports, but I can still use only one cable into my MacBook Pro. As mentioned, the whole thing is powered by a MacBook Pro, and I made a custom headphone holder that goes right on the front of that. We have the same PreSonus audio setup as before with their Quantum audio interface as well as their studio monitors. We also kept around the Elgato prompter, however the camera behind it changed. Now we have an A7S II running full 4K signal into my laptop. This is the before setup. Here it is on the before side. And this is what the after zoom setup looks like. Here's the final result of everything. We'll go ahead and show a split screen. This is the after, right next to the before. Cool. We have the Elgato mic arm with the Rode Pod mic, as well as the Apple keyboard and trackpad. Now we switched out the lighting setup. Now we have this Quasar Science light bar and moved the monitor light bar from above to below the monitor, so it only lights the desk surface. Many of the items stayed the same, such as the LG monitor, my desk thing setup that includes a phone charger, AirPods mount, a Stream Deck, and another little 7-inch monitor. And then we ran a cable chain down to the ground. This houses three things: the power, an Ethernet signal, as well as a USB signal that goes to our printer setup. In there we have three printers: the main printer, scanner, copier machine, as well as a brother label maker that prints black labels, helpful for just labeling things around the house, and then a 4x6-inch shipping label thermal printer. That's the whole new setup. It's cleaner and more organized, but most importantly, I like it. But there's one thing left in order to see if it was all worth it: the wobble test. So I'll raise the desk back up as high as it goes. I'll set up a ruler and we'll compare the before and after results. Was this whole thing worth it? Or was it a waste of time, a waste of effort, and a waste of money? The Flexispot review hangs in the balance. The wobble test. Remember, this is what determines the review. Wow. Nearly none. That's awesome. Success. There you have it. Much more stable. That was the end goal. 5 stars to Flexispot. They earned it. This desk is great, and this setup is one step closer to being ideal. For now. Now it may change in a couple weeks. We'll see once I get inspired, once I start using it, but I'm happy. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content, coming along on this process with me. If you have any specific questions about this setup, feel free to leave them down below and I will get back to you. But that's all for now.